to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.
This is Colin McGuigan for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. I'm delighted to get this one across the line. I've been pestering Sam Jones. It's 12:15, just after we've watched the fight, and he's agreed to do it. So big up Sam Jones. Sam, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. And yeah, you have to let people know this because they think, because I'm slightly irrelevant, people will think, he's asking for interviews. I don't. I'm just a chubby man with an opinion.
I just WhatsApped Sam Jones and he said to me, mate, you're torturing me. And I said, please just give me 10 minutes. So 12:15 and you're giving me your time. Really appreciate it, mate. We'll get straight into it.
I'm staying up for Elimination Chamber, mate. So we're good. We're fresh.
Oh, I forgot you love that nonsense. The WWE. Here, you need to check out my interview with Roman Reigns, actually, on IFL.
Never call it nonsense ever again.
I can't have it, mate. Not for me. But let's get to the real fight here. Right. What did you make of that tonight? First of all, what's your opinion on Ben Davison at the end? Because personally, I think it was a good stoppage.
Mate, I think if you disagree with that stoppage, you're mad. People say, there's 10 seconds left. Mate, it doesn't matter if there's 1 second left, if it's the difference between one more shot landed. Do you understand what I mean? Sonny Edwards put it correct. If Mauricio Lara would have had 5 more seconds on him, Leewood would have woke up in the changing room. He obviously put it in a more brutal way. But listen, Leewood, I'll be perfectly honest with you, I gave him a little bit of a chance. And because I've been open about it, I've been open about the fight. I gave him a bit of a chance, but not a lot of a chance. But I'll be perfectly honest with you, I thought he was outstanding. I thought he was absolutely outstanding. I thought Ben Davison's game plan was fantastic. I thought it was punch perfect, really. I mean, he took his shots, took his licks, but there's just always that danger when you fight someone like Mauricio Lara who can fucking whack. Listen, right? I actually spoke to Mick Conlan just about 10 minutes ago on the phone, having a chat with him, and he wanted Leewood to win the fight. I think we all wanted to. Do you know what I mean? Also, like, do you know what I mean? We want him to win. It sets up a good fight, but we'll come to that. But I said to Mick, Mick, you could beat Lara easy, yeah, like outbox him. But if you turn away, if you switch off for a single second, you could also get knocked the fuck out. Because Mauricio Lara he's a beast, isn't he? He's a fucking beast. But look, I thought it was a mad move doing that fight. However, he has to be commended because who on earth is giving voluntary shots to people like Mauricio Lara nowadays? Nobody. So I tip my hat's not on, but Leewood, I tip my hat to you, sir. Even though you're a Forest fan, great performance, and I hope we see him back in the ring really soon. I think he'll have a good break with his. I know he's got a young family, and then I want to see him rematch my pal, and I want to see him do it in Ireland. He had the first one in Nottingham, have the second one in Ireland, and listen, have the third one at the City Ground, and then or whatever, and see how the fight's like. But there could be 3 fights. There could be a trilogy with Mick, and I think the fight was that good the first time. I would all love to see that again, but that's what I'd like to see next. Leewood's not done at all. Leewood was brilliant in that fight. Genuinely, I commend him. He was fantastic in that fight. He just made one mistake and he got caught with a left hook that would have knocked a small animal out.
We'll get on the rematches. We'll get on to what options are for Leewood next. But I want to get your honest opinion on that fight because I want to hear, how were you scoring it up until that knockdown?
I wasn't scoring it. Usually I'm scoring it. I wasn't scoring it. I had Leewood winning the fight quite handily on the scorecards. And I honestly thought, I was thinking, hold on a minute. Leewood's, do you know what I mean? Like, Lara looked a bit tired and a bit disorganised, but he always looks disorganised. Do you know what I mean? He always looks a bit ragged, but that left hook, oh my God, I felt it. Like, and I was just, and listen, Ben Davison spends, as do all trainers, they spend the most time with the fighter, more time than managers, whatever. He spends the most time with him. He knows him better. And it wasn't a knee-jerk reaction for Ben. Ben would have just looked at his legs and thought, if Mauricio Lara hits him one more time, it's done. Do you know what I mean? Like it could have been a lot worse than what it was. Leewood, he looks healthy, and like he's got a few bruises and stuff, but at least he'll go home safe.
I'm of the same opinion as you. I think it was a great stoppage. I think really Ben Davison's done his man a good favour there and kept him safe for another day. However, I understand the argument that people will say is, well, look, there's 8 seconds left here. What would you reply to that?
I don't bite. Like if he was fighting probably a lesser puncher, I don't know. Maybe he would have been given more. But the way Mauricio Lara can hit, Ben's aware of that. I thought, God, a free shot from Mauricio Lara? No, thank you.
What's next for Mauricio Lara, first of all? Because where does he go from here? The ball's in his court, obviously.
He just spat in Josh Warrington's face, didn't he? So you'd probably think that's probably going to be the next thing. But
do you like that fight?
It's a hard fight for Josh. Especially the Josh Warrington 3.5 years ago. Yes, but the tail end of his career, Josh Warrington, is a hard fight for him.
Would you say a loss is career ending for Josh Warrington in that situation?
You can never say that. I suppose it depends of the manner of the loss. I'm not saying he's dealt long to lose, because listen, Josh Warrington is a great fighter. Could well beat him. So who knows? I just think Mauricio Lara is 24. He's fresh. He's such a hard puncher. I just think I'd rather like to see Warrington, Michael Conlan, and Leewood have like a round robin kind of fights. Like one fights one fights the other, and they can all do it in their grounds. One in Leeds, one in Nottingham, one in Ireland.
So realistically, here you're a promoter. You've seen this. You manage fighters. You understand the ins and outs. There was a rematch clause. Do you believe Eddie Hearn, one, activates that rematch clause, and two, do you think that's within his fighters' best interests?
It's not up to Eddie Hearn to activate the rematch clause. It'll be up to Leewood and Ben Davison, his manager, to activate that rematch clause. I would have an interim fight if I was Leewood. I would a scenario here. If Mick Conlan fights Lopez, I believe Mick Conlan beats Lopez. I believe you should then go and have the huge fight with Michael Conlan at Falls Park. That's
in Ireland,
yeah, that's what I would do if I was Leewood. I'd earn as much money as possible. He's 34, touching 35. Make as much money as possible. And if you want to rematch Mauricio Lara after the Mick fight or whatever, if it's still there, then do it. But I would.
So you think Mick Conlan fights Lopez here? He beats Lopez. Warrington and Wood maybe go at it in the summer at Elland Road, possibly, and then Leewood has an interim fight. Maybe Jazza Dickens in the interim.
No, Leewood and Warrington won't fight next. Now, in my opinion,
Lara and Warrington. I'm saying
Lara and Warrington probably will
at Elland Road, right? And I'm saying possibly is it a potential that Leewood says, okay, let's have a comeback fight against Jazza Dickens, revenge that.
Thing is, fighting Jazz is not a foregone conclusion. Jazz is a top fighter, you know. Jazz is a top fighter. That's not a foregone. Maybe that's the fight next. I would love to see Jazza get that opportunity. Jazza deserves a big night as well. So yeah, maybe he could fight Jazza Dickens in the interim. But this is the risk you take. I mean, listen, he's clear. He's proved he's a risk taker anyway, because he boxed Mauricio Lara on a voluntary defence. So I think.
Did you see a fall off in Leewood from that Michael Conlan fight? Did you see any effects from that Michael Conlan fight tonight in Leewood?
No, zero. He was really good. I thought Leewood was fantastic tonight, didn't you?
I thought he was great as well. I mean, obviously that momentarily slip of concentration.
he boxed a hell of a lot better than he did against Mick. Mick was beating him up for 9 rounds.
How much respect do we need to put on Mauricio Lara's name now?
He's probably he's established himself as the number one featherweight in the world. But it sounds mad because he is such a dangerous bastard. But he is beatable. He is really beatable.
And you think that was a bad move tonight from Ben Davison to put Leewood in there with Lara? Do you think it was the right move at this time of his career?
I don't want to say that because I already gave my opinion before the fight, and I probably was a bit harsh in my well, I don't know what the word is. It was this late, but I was probably a bit harsh on my assessment of the fight being made itself. I thought that I've got my business hat on. You understand? I've got my manager's hat on, and I thought that a rematch with Mick Conlan is far more lucrative than the Lara fight. But listen, it's done now, isn't it? It's done now. Leewood was brilliant tonight, and he'll feel very, very deflated. But he was fantastic. He performed great. He boxed out of his skin. And listen, he just got caught against a massive puncher. It happens. That's the risk you take. But it is what it is.
I like what you've proposed in terms of the Mick Conlan rematch, do it in Ireland and then have the trilogy fight, because this could be one of the greatest trilogies the UK and Ireland have ever seen, really, if we think about it.
Both big, like Leewood. I mean, I hope. I mean, the Nottingham Forest boys aren't my favourite in the world, being a Derby fan, but hopefully they back their boy and they support him in a comeback fight, and they can have an away day in Ireland against Mick Conlan, because let's be honest, Mick Conlan's now in the driver's seat because he's a huge draw, and win, lose or draw, they love him. They love him, so they're going to come out for him. So Mick Conlan wins his world title. Mick Conlan's got the. I mean, listen, Mick was very vocal in wanting the rematch with Lee. Lee never gave him it. Fair enough. It's going to be up to Mick Conlan now whether that rematch happens, which I think Mick will do it for pride, because I think Mick will think that he's better than Leewood. But ultimately, you couldn't meet two nicer men than Leewood and Michael Conlan, by the way. I just think let's get that fight on, have the rematch, and then have a trilogy. Make loads of money.
That's what my next question I was going to get on to. Would it be dangerous to step back into the ring with Mauricio Lara? One, because it's potentially career-ending if you get knocked out again by Mauricio Lara.
He fights Lara again, offset back to back, and listen, touch wood, it doesn't happen, and he gets knocked out again. You haven't got really anywhere to go on back-to-back knockouts. You know what I mean? He performed out of his skin there. It was a great fight. It was entertaining. People will be looking forward to watching box again. Swerve that for now, in my opinion. Swerve that for now. Let Mauricio Lara fight somebody else.
Before I let you go, just give me a quick breakdown of the rest of the card. What did you think of Dalton Smiths' performance tonight?
I thought he started off well, but it was lackluster for me from Dalton. I thought, listen, Dalton's a top talent. You can see that, and it happens with a lot of good fighters. They get up for the big ones. And this is the reason why I said the other day that why are people so against two young fighters fighting for the British title? Why can't we see Adam Azim against Dalton Smith for the British title? Like, two young guys on the come up, same way James DeGale did and George Groves, same way Joe Joyce and Daniel Dubois, Dillian White, Anthony Joshua. Let's see a huge fight between Azim and Dalton Smith. I'm sure that Dalton Smith will get up for that fight. So that's just my opinion. I thought that he might have overlooked him a little bit, Billy Hamilton. So, but Dalton's a great fighter. I would like to see him fight much better opposition than that, and that's the reason why. I mean, it probably won't happen because it's just the way it is sometimes. But Joe Joyce boxed Daniel Dubois, Dillian White, Joshua. I've said it. I've already just said it. There's no reason why we shouldn't be able to see that fight happen.
Gary Coley tonight, a good performance. Do you think it's time now for him to step up the levels and maybe see a Maxi Hughes fight in Dublin?
if I'm Maxi Hughes as manager, if I'm Steffi Bull, I'm going nowhere near Gary Cully. I'm just going nowhere near him because he's young, he's fresh, he's fucking awkward. He's 6'2". He can punch. He's strong. He's gangly. He's gonna be fucking hard to beat, Gary Cully.
If we're talking word level, right, in that division, is Gary Cully a problem?
100%. Well, he's 6'2", and he can whack, and he's strong. He's tough.
How high is the ceiling for him?
Say again.
How high is the ceiling for him? Like, what levels do you think he can get to?
Oh, I think he's a superstar. I do. I think he could be Ireland's next big thing.
In terms of who you would like to see him fight next, if it wasn't Maxi Hughes, who would you like to see him fight in Dublin? Thinking of a step up.
I don't like the Linares fight because I know Linares and Linares isn't what he once was. Listen, the Maxi Hughes fight's a great fight for Gary. It's not a great fight for Maxi. So I don't know. I actually don't know the answer to that question, but he needs a big fight now.
Before I let you go, next week, Tommy Fury, Jake Paul. Give me your thoughts on that.
Tommy Fury knocks him out.
Tommy Fury does? Because me and you actually spoke, maybe I'd say 9 months ago, right?
Tommy Fury was training in Derby when he was about 15 years old with a friend of mine. And he was knocking out full-grown men, professionals. And, like, he can fight. Okay, you don't have to think he's very good, but he can fight.
Do you think he knocks Jake Paul out?
Yes, he knocks him out. He has to. If it goes to points, Tommy Fury shouldn't box again.
Well, it's a big statement, Sam. You actually said to me 9 months ago, you know, when I first proposed this type of question to you, don't know if you'll remember it, but you told me you were actually pleasantly surprised with the level Jake Paul was at, and you thought he was a genuine contender.
I never said he was a genuine contender.
I'll find it. You said you think that he could beat Tommy Fury at the time, so it's interesting to hear your back and forth. I think I'll find it and send it to you, but that's around about what you said.
I don't know when I said that, but if I said that, then listen, Jake Paul can fight. He can clearly fight because if you're knocking out Tyron Woodley, I'm not saying Tyron Woodley's not a boxer, but he can fight. Do you understand what I mean? Jake Paul can clearly fight, but Tommy Fury's been bred around it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying he takes it seriously. I just think, listen, even if I did say that, listen, we all say stuff. Yeah. So if I said I would like to hear it though, hear me say it. I just think Tommy Fury knocks him out.
Do you agree with the WBC ranking for the winner? It's going to be top 40 because I know people have said that it was top 15. That's not true. It's going to be top 40.
We've seen someone else ranked in the ranking systems that have been dead. So I don't need to go into that. People are just outraged that it's Jake Paul. I think that's just all it is. I mean, listen, it's a business at the end of the day, and Jake Paul brings big business. We'll leave it at that.
Well, Sam, absolute pleasure. At just after midnight, you've done this. Enjoy your fake wrestling tonight. That'll be obviously special for you. Really appreciate your time, though.
You're a secret fan, mate. You're a secret fan.
Nah. I interviewed Roman Reigns. I haven't got a photo with Triple H. There you
go. There you go.
That's it. That's my claim to fame. But enjoy, mate. Thank you very much for your time. Really, really appreciate it. We'll speak to you soon.
Cheers,
I'm going to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something. Completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.